All right, here's week 4. So last week of the month of benchmarks, we got our voted workout 2 as well to do this week on a Friday. So I'll go over that once we get there. But Monday is going to start off with our skill work. So we got a 15-minute AMRAP to practice different gymnastics positions. These are really good to create body awareness, skill, because there's positions that we have to hold and shapes we have to hold, which are going to require strength, skill, awareness as we do them. So 15 seconds hollow, 15 seconds arch, 10 banded lat pull downs. So learning kind of how to activate the lats and get the arms engaged, 10 scat pull-ups, building some strength there, and then 10 kip swings. So working through those 5 movements, you're going at a pace that you're just working on the technique. So how I do it would be you do the hollow hold, rest 20, 30 seconds, then do your arch hold, same thing. In between, you want to keep the fatigue really minimal. You don't want to be maxing out in fatigue or treating this like a kind of cardio workout. You want to focus on like taking your time and putting as much focus into each movement as you go. So we're building skill, body awareness. These skills are not only going to be geared towards the body awareness part, but also if you're looking to get stronger in your gymnastics movements, like let's say handstands, pull-ups, toes to bar, or any kind of gymnastic variation, these movements are pretty fundamental, which will help build towards that. So focus on the quality over the quantity, aim for about 3 to 5 sets, but you don't want to keep doing more reps to kind of get tired from it. You don't want your muscles to be tired. Like a little bit of fatigue is okay, but not like we don't want our shoulders or abs to be like super like fatigued after this. This is all about practicing the skill. So it's really good to kind of slow it down and actually put your intent into each movement rather than just kind of focusing on like moving quickly. So that's the skill piece. And then our workout kind of ties into it because we have toes to bar and single arm overhead dumbbell lunges. So really geared towards that toes to bar because that's going to require a key piece of core activation, strength there, skill, hip swing, all of that. With the single arm overhead dumbbell lunge, that's going to also challenge the upper body strength, core strength, lower body. So a good overall movement here. So how it works, the benchmark today is a good midline strength and endurance test. We got 10 toes to bar and then 10 single arm overhead dumbbell lunges, 20 and 20, then 30 and 30, and then one more round of 30 and 30. I had 40 originally, but I thought I'd kind of reduce the volume a little bit, kind of have a little bit of a different feel to it, just a slight difference. It'd just be a repeat of 2 30 rounds at the end. And it'll be a total of 90 reps total. So when you're picking your progressions today, they are a little bit on the higher end. So make sure you choose something that you can do about 10 reps in a row of consistently as you're moving through this. So toes to bar, again, with this one, find that progression that makes sense for you. Like this could look like as simple as a leg raise on the ground. So like a pike raise, up to like maybe doing a knee raise, like from the bar, or even going to the full toes to bar. Meet yourself where you're at. And the single arm dumbbell overhead lunges, we actually forgot to put the weight. 50 and 35 is what we're aiming for as prescribed. But again, meet yourself where you're at, and you want this again to be a progression that you can do about 10 reps in a row before you need to put it down. So 15-minute time cap on this one, see what you can do, and definitely something we will repeat down the line to see kind of where our core strength is at, skill is at, balance, so many different components that are being tested in this. Tuesday, we're going to just gear down a little bit, kind of take it easy, still keep moving though, get a good sweat on, and all of this is helping towards building our foundation of our fitness. This is kind of like we're building a bigger engine. When we do longer distance stuff, it helps a lot with like learning how to pace, how to manage that, because if you're used to just like going fast all the time, you're not really going to build a good fitness base. You're going to be stuck. You're going to hit a plateau. That's something that I've noticed in my training in the past years, where if I did more like 10-minute, 5-minute workouts, they get you really fit, but it's good to also make sure you can kind of gear down and go at a slower speed too, because you have your sprint pace, you have that kind of short distance pace, but you also have that kind of marathon long-term pace too. So you want to be able to gear into any of those. And that long kind of aerobic style of training is really good to build a good foundation of your fitness in the first place, build a lot of like tolerance and endurance over time. So Tuesday is going to be all around that for today. 10 cal row, 10 no push-up burpees, 10 cal ski or spin bike, and then 10 curtsy lunges, 10 cal bike, and then 10 med ball Russian twists at a lightweight. So just ideas to keep moving, not trying to like fatigue one muscle group, really just like keep the pace going, get the heart rate up. We need to just get the pacing in there, 65% roughly, so you feel like a good sweat on, but it's not like anything like crazy that you're trying to like crush yourself in those 30 minutes, nor could you do that in 30 minutes. So that's Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we got some fun little benchmarks, a little bit different this week. We haven't done these in a while, and I added some new stuff in there. So we have in 15 minutes, we're going to develop or find our max distance broad jump in 5 attempts. And then we're going to also do a right side lateral broad jump. So jumping sideways, trying to get as much distance in 5 attempts, and the left side as well. So we're trying to find the max distance for each of these. Really good to kind of figure out kind of how much power we can develop, and we can actually measure it, see where we land, and also see if there's a side to side difference with jumping side to side. I know that's something we don't really do as often. If you play sports, that's going to be something that you're going to see in some kind of way, the lateral motion. So really important there. But even just in general, it's like being able to move in different directions, not just in the forward and back plane. So record your max distance that you get after 5 attempts for each, and see kind of how they all compare up to one another. And then our workout, very, very straightforward. This is something I like doing once in a while. This is a CrossFit benchmark workout that I've used in the past before, just to get a little bit of insight into kind of your cardiovascular endurance. It's called the Ghost. 6 rounds for total reps, 1 minute rowing for calories, 1 minute burpees, 1 minute of the lungers, 1 minute rest. Stimulus is endurance today, and the idea is like try to maintain the same number of reps per round with this one. So when you approach the first round, if you're not sure, go at it like at a 7 out of 10. Leave a little bit in the tank, but also you're not going like slow where you're like, oh wow, I can go way faster in the next round. You want to get to a point where it feels challenging to maintain, but you can still maintain for 6 rounds. And that 6th round just feels a little different than that 5 rounds. It's one extra round, but the pacing is different. So think about, again, the first couple rounds to find that like right pace where it feels hard, but you're like, okay, I can sustain it for another couple rounds. That's where you want to kind of be at. And it is going to be a little bit of like that pain cave kind of feeling, especially in that 4th, 5th, 6th rounds, so the back half of the workout. But good workout to kind of see where you're at with your endurance, and you're just tracking total reps, and then use that as your score for your workout there. So add everything up, and that'll be your total score. Thursday with base conditioning. So we got our steady, easy pace, 5 rounds, 1 minute ski, row, and bike. You're going to see that every other minute, followed by 1 minute of single arm banded presses. So just standing on the band and pressing, and we're going to do it. Every rep is going to be different. So I want you to kind of press in a different direction each time. Keep a really light band. You don't need to be heavy with the band, but just to add some novelty and direction change in how we press. Even try bending, sideways, rotating, going in a different stance. Just, again, explore as much as possible. We want to create as much different movement pathways here, and allow our body to get stronger in newer positions. And then 1 minute of the lateral step up and overs on that 4th minute, and then on that 6th minute, med ball ground overhead. Choose a lightweight for this. So easy, low intensity pace today. We want to get a sweat on. So you should be able to have a conversation as you're moving, but nothing too intense where you're kind of like feeling like you need to have a break. So then our Friday, here we go. We got our benchmark workout. Congratulations, Ali, on this workout. I love the name, Acute Coronary Attack. 10 rounds for time, 100-meter run, 10 pull-ups, 100-meter run, 10 push-ups, 100-meter run, 10 sit-ups. The only little modification I made, I was kind of debating whether I should change something or not. The time cap was just a little too long for the class. Just wanted to make sure we definitely get a good warm up, get it set for this. So I did pull it back to 35 minutes. So it is an aggressive time cap, I would say. For those of you more like really confident with these movements, we'll probably get close to finishing this. I would say aim for the 8 rounds in this. Like 80% of this workout would be awesome. That's going to happen only if you pick a progression today where you can do 5 or more reps of each of these movements. So especially the push-ups and the pull-ups, those are going to be the hardest movements out of this workout. Make sure those, you're like, whatever you pick, ring rows, jumping pull-ups, you can just keep moving through them. They're not something that you're going to crash and burn in the first 2 or 3 rounds there. So keep that in mind as you're choosing your progressions. And then see how far you can get. If you can get 10 rounds done, wow, that's awesome. 8 rounds, I would even say 80% is really, really good with the amount of volume in this workout. But congrats, Ali, on this workout. Really cool one. I love the name. We'll repeat this again. This will go in the library for our benchmarks for CFW. So cool little workout. Hope we can see everyone here on the Friday for it. And then Saturday, we got our base conditioning a little bit longer, 45 minutes, 3 rounds, 4-minute machine, 1 minute of dumbbell or kettlebell deadlifts. Every rep, I want you to do it a little bit differently. So play with feet positioning, play with where the kettlebell or dumbbell touches the ground, or even like maybe you're going halfway down on 1 rep and then the next rep is like 3/4 of the way down. Be a little creative with it. I want you to find different movement pathways. And then the row, again, machine on the 3rd minute, squats, every rep's different. And then the 5th minute, we're going to go with those 4-minute row, bike, or ski. And then last minute here is going to be lunges. And again, every rep is different. So just being creative with the pattern of the movement itself. So easy pace on the Saturday. And then Sunday, we got our partner workout to wrap up the last workout of the cycle before we get into September, getting into our brand new cycle, which stay tuned for it. But Sunday, we're going to get our partner workout, 5 rounds for total weight moved on the bench press. We got 100 meter synchro single arm farmer's carry. So 1 kettlebell per partner. You're going to walk out 100 meters and back, and then 400 meter run, not with kettlebells. And then 1 max set of bench press each partner. And then whatever the weight is times the number of rep is going to be your score per round. And then you're going to add all of that up at the end to get your total weight moved in these 5 rounds. So we'll give you guys for this one, let's do 25-minute cap. So going to be a little bit strategic with how many attempts you do. So you have technically 5 attempts, 5 rounds to get as many attempts on the bench press as possible. So if you go a little slower, you may save some more in the tank so you can do more. However, if you go faster, you might also be a little tired, so you might not be able to get as many reps. So play with that and figure out kind of what the best pacing is for you guys so that you guys can maximize the number of, or the total weight moved in those 25 minutes. Other than that, hope you guys enjoy the workout this week and everything goes well. And I'll see you guys at the gym. Have a good one.